Taking a second.
Bradford, ever since being traded from Philadelphia, he's looked amazing. He's not just managing the game, he is taking it
Sadly
to the next
enough,
level. He's
just
finding
5 years
receivers.
ago, that was me. Minimal to no broadcasting training or any skills. I'm Jansen Harris, CEO of the Just Good Network. Over the last 5 years, I've come up with practical ways to get better speaking with confidence on camera and doing voiceovers. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, if you're 70, if you dropped out of high school, if you have a GED, if you have 15 years experience in a different field. There are practical techniques that you could do day by day to get better, week by week. And I have a training program for that. If you're interested in getting better in transparent and practical ways, inbox me today or visit us at justgoodnetwork.org. Let's get better together.
Hey, everybody. Jansen Harris here with the Flying High podcast. Joining me is Maceo Hurd Jr., co-host of What's Next every Monday at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on It's Next Level. Look, the one thing I'll say about Maceo, man, and what makes him special to me, because him and E. Glaze, always humble guys, they show love. They show love, always willing to go the extra mile. I remember it was about like 5 or 6 years ago. I saw their show, man, and I was just like, damn, man, there's no way. Ain't no way I'm able to do a lot of the stuff they were doing, man. They were doing things live, and the thing was they were always humble. Every time I've hit them up, willing to talk, willing to drive, come on my shows, and willing to do different things. I think that's what makes Maceo special. Thank you, man, for joining me today. How you doing?
Hey, my dude, man. You know you my guy, man. What's happening, baby? What's happening?
I'm chilling. Look, how about them Cowboys, but how about those Falcons, man?
Hey, listen. The Falcons could not afford to come back to Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Sunday 0-3. Arthur Smith needed that win. And Matt Ryan needed that win. Much better outlook today going into Sunday.
Hey, so let me ask you this. You just talked a little bit about it. Falcons won 17-14 on the road. I thought it was a quality win. Loved how they played in the fourth quarter. What was your first reaction to that victory?
It was one of these. You're relieved. We watched the first two games and you saw the mistakes, and you just like you look at Arthur Smith. They put the camera on him. He's like, oh my God, maybe this is not the guy for this job. you on the road, and I think people kind of discount the fact that it's hard to win in the NFL. Period. Like these are the best of the best guys. Both sides of the ball get paid. Millionaires everywhere. So that's why Vegas always had these games a little close because, I mean, it's the NFL, it's the best of the best. The Falcons found a way to get this W, and they needed it bad. They kick, they clawed, they scratched, they choked out their parents. Whatever they needed to do to get this win, they did it.
Absolutely. Look, let's talk about Dante Fowler Jr. I was critical of that face right there. I was critical of him all of last year, and I closely watched him, criticized him a lot. But coming into this year, I was like, he has to. If he's about his money, he has to show up and play. What are your thoughts on him after 3 weeks? What have you seen from him, the play and some of the sacks that he's made? Are you impressed?
I've started to get there. The one thing we know why they brought him here. We also understand one of the biggest weaknesses for the Atlanta Falcons with the last 3, 4, maybe 5 years, pass rush. They hadn't been able to get a pass. They hadn't been able to get a quarterback to the ground. Dante Fowler changed his number. I think word on the street, he kind of got out of these ATL streets and he's focusing on his craft. And I think it's kind of paying off. He got the Brady. Sunday, he got the old Danny Dimes. I don't know why they call him Danny Dimes. It should just be Daniel Jones, but because he don't drop no dimes. But I mean, hey, New York, I get it. But Dante Fowler, week in and week out, he has to continue to affect the quarterback. And And getting the sack, you love the sack, but the fact that he's getting quarterbacks off the spot, he's forcing quarterbacks to move to spots they don't want to move. He's kind of doing his job. Again, we do want the sack. The payoff is getting the quarterback to the ground. And I think if he continues on the path that he's on, Falcon fans, toward the end of the season, they should be a little happy with old number 6.
Now, he did what he had to do. Grady also got a sack. Sum up the whole defensive line. Are you overall happy with what they're doing in that performance? And are you encouraged games coming up that they're going to do their thing? Or is it just kind of like, okay, it's the Giants, let's relax?
Well, Jay Money, I always call you Jay Money when I see your stuff. I call you Jay Money.
Yeah, I'll take it. Anything with money, I'll take it.
When I look at this Falcon D line, it's still a work in progress.
Okay,
you have Grady. Grady is Grady. Grady, you always gonna get maximum effort for Grady. You look at Marlon, you look at Davidson. You like, okay, we drafted this guy to be a stud. He hadn't quite done that yet. It's a work in progress. I'm gonna continue to say that. The front, this Falcon defense, we heard so much about Dan P's scheme and how they were gonna attack and do all of these different things. And we're starting to show it, of course. Not having AJ Terrell last week, it hurt a little bit. But you want this front, like outside of Grady, you want these other guys to start getting after it, because I think what offenses kind of see when they play the Falcons, they feel like they can just run right at them. Because you have these small linebackers. I mean, Deion Jones like a safety, really. You look at him, he's like a safety, but he's playing middle linebacker in the NFL. So you need those big guys up front to protect him so he can use his speed to get to the ball. But a lot of times, these guys are getting pushed into Deion lap, and your linebackers can't make plays when the defensive line 2-3 yards upfield.
Absolutely. Look, Matt Ryan, it's like a 50-50 thing here in Atlanta. And I feel like that's what every fan base with quarterbacks who haven't won Super Bowls, like you were just saying with Daniel Jones. I'll put up a message. Everybody across the country on Facebook. How do you feel about Daniel Jones? I see underrated, overrated, this and that. Kirk Cousins is too. Kirk Cousins is like the new Matt Ryan. Half his fan base is like, Kirk Cousins is the man. What are you talking about? Other people are like, dude, he can't win the big game. What's your impression this season on Matt Ryan and moving forward with him?
I've almost been forced to be not so much a Matt Ryan apologist, but just to get people to understand how difficult it is for a guy who continues to get different offensive coordinators. I mean, he hadn't had a consistent coordinator with last 5, 7, maybe 10 years. If he had won that Super Bowl, we don't even have these conversations we have if the Falcons had found a way to win that Super Bowl. We can't take away his MVP season. Everybody can't win it. It's going to be plenty of quarterbacks who are going to play in this league who will never win the MVP, who will never lead a team to a Super Bowl. Was the Super Bowl his fault? Not totally. He got some blame, but he don't have a lot of blame. And when this organization decided to stay with Matt Ryan versus with this draft class that came out without picking his successor, you pretty much, Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith basically told you Matt Ryan's going to probably be here two more years, maybe 3. So it's no need to hate the guy. He's not going nowhere. So you either going to love him or you're going to complain about him every Sunday. And if you're going to complain about him every Sunday, get ready for 3 more years of complaining about this guy, because he's not going anywhere, clearly.
It's just like, Jansen, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
He's like, stop with the hate, man.
But you know what, Jay Money? It's not hate. We're all watching the game, and in your mind, you expect a veteran quarterback to make these plays, make these throws. And sometimes you scratch your head when you watch, Matt. You're just like, dude, you've been in the league like 30 years. Like, you got to make that play. But right now, offensive line, I mean, it's a work in progress. He lost his security blanket in Julio. Ridley the one now. You draft a generational talent at tight end, and he can't get the ball to the fourth quarter. So is that Matt's fault? Not really. The scheme right now is to blame for Matt Ryan's performance, in my opinion.
Maceo, to me, and we bring this up every year, the offensive line, the offense. Did Fontenot and Smith not see this coming? I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything about football. My whole thing is this. They kind of gave off the vibe. Again, like you said, bring back Matt Ryan, be here again 2-3 years, that this is win now mode. You hired the wrong guy for not trying to win now. So why are they having all these offensive line issues? Because it wasn't a secret the last couple of seasons. And should we still, I know I didn't send this question, but it just popped up in my mind. I had to ask you, should we still, and Falcon fans, expect the Falcons to make the playoffs? Isn't that the expectations just because of the whole, to me, the verbiage of what Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot and how they drafted?
So, as bad as the season started, terrible loss to Philadelphia. Now we see Philadelphia not that good a football team. You had that terrible loss in week 2. If you look at the upcoming schedule, you have Washington, a team that you should beat Sunday at home. Then the Jets come to town. You should beat the Jets.
Yep.
And then you have a trip to Miami. You should beat Miami. So as bad as the earth was falling those first 2 weeks, the Falcons could be 4-2, 3-3 at worst, heading into the game with Carolina. But as far as Fontenot and Arthur Smith, they clearly over-evaluated the offensive line, because it's no way you looked at this offensive line and with the studs that were on the board at 4, you felt that, okay, we can go get a tight end versus getting Slater, who is killing it out there in LA. You know, he was all these guys were on the board, but you took a tight end. Come on, make it make sense. Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith right now, I mean, we looking at them sideways. Jansen, we looking at them like this, like, you sure?
I'm glad you brought that up. Do you feel like a lot of maybe Terry Fontenot and maybe even some of the media here in Atlanta were too influenced by the national media? Because I remember for a while it was Justin Fields or Sewell at that 4 spot, and then boom, I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts wasn't good at college. He was great. He was good at college. But that hype, it seemed like something just like, boom, generational talent, this, that, and the third. Do you think maybe that influence from the media maybe affected the decision?
I think it played a part. I think they listened more to the fan base. I think they, you hear and listen, it's all about ticket sales. What can I tell the fans to not make them cancel PSLs? What I need them, especially with we going back inside the stadium. So, hey, we need beer sales, we need jersey sales, we need everything that's gonna go to the bottom line that we missed out on last. But they really didn't miss out last year because the TV money was real good. They're just the stuff to line their pockets. But they had to sell the fan base. And when you tell your fan base, hey, this is not a rebuild. We're gonna plug guys in and we should be able to continue with this process. No, you can't, because this team hasn't been good for like 2 years now. So championship teams are built from the inside out. You gotta, if Matt Ryan is your guy, you gotta protect him. Look at Cincinnati. For all the yards Jamar Chase gonna catch, you still worried that Joe Burrow gonna take a hit that's gonna take him out. And that's the same thing in Atlanta. If Matt go down, Josh Rosen, Felipe Franks, who's working out at tight end too. If you're gonna keep him, protect him. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, why you have to say it like they say? He's working out at tight end too.
I mean, listen, he lined up at tight end, and then Arthur Smith is telling the media, hey, he's a phenomenal athlete. We just can't keep him on the sideline, huh? You drafted a generational talent at tight end, and you have a quarterback who only played quarterback his entire life, working at tight end because he's a phenomenal athlete. Well, what is Hayden Hurst?
That's a good
Make
question.
it make sense. Make it make sense, J Money.
That's a great question. Let's dive into that. Kyle Pitts and his usage. What do you think is running through Arthur Smith's head? Look, everybody's saying this. Why isn't he using Kyle Pitts? And when he did use him, look, he helped them win. Great drive by the Falcons to close the game out. Matt Ryan was clutch. The offensive line was clutch enough. This team, a W is a W. They got the win on the road. Why isn't Kyle Pitts being used?
It's so baffling. You look at it. I can remember the first game at Philly. You got your drive and you're down inside the 10. Here's a guy who has the longest wingspan in NFL history. Yep. You know the athleticism he brings to the table. And again, you picked him 4th overall. If I'm picking a guy 4th overall and they tell me he's generational talent, he getting 12 to 15 targets a game. You mean to tell me you can't go trips, put him over here on the backside by himself, just throw a jump ball? Who jumping with him? Nobody. And in a crucial game like Sunday against the Giants, where the 4th quarter is when he finally touched the football, like, you don't think your offense can get generated faster if you get a generational talent the ball early? Come on, Arthur Smith. You're supposed to be this offensive guru. That's why they hired you. Come on, figure it out, Arthur. Figure it out. Figure it out.
Back to the Falcons defense, and they were pretty impressive. Only allowed 14 points. They got to the quarterback. Give me a grade for their defense against the Giants, and maybe something you saw on tape or during the game that they should be encouraged by, that maybe people aren't talking about.
So I gave him a strong C. Gave him a C plus.
Ooh, C+.
Gave him a C plus. That it could have been a B minus. Could have been a B minus. Going back watching the all 22 version of the game, it's that push up front. It's not consistent enough. And when you're playing these mobile, on the move type quarterbacks, especially like you're gonna see that in Heineke on Sunday. When these guys can get outside, they really can hurt your defense. And when your secondary is not, all that, especially when they're minus your best cover corner, that's how big plays happen. Now, lucky for the Falcons, again, Daniel Jones, because he don't throw no dimes. I still
Danny dimes, no.
I can't get over that.
Danny turnover, maybe.
Yeah, I like it. If this was a Matthew Stafford, if this was just one of these other guys who are deadly accurate when they're on the move, bigger plays could have been made. But because this is Daniel Jones, they were able to kind of contain this offense. It also helped that you had Russell Shepard, Sterling Shepard, whatever his name is, Shepard. He went out for the Giants. I mean, all of them the guys the same. You had Evan Ingram out there dropping passes. So, I mean, the Giants offense really helped the Falcon defense, but at the same time, the Falcons did Dante Fowler, Deion Jones is going to be Deion Jones, and Isaiah Oliver. He was a drum last year, playing in that slot, being able to make timely plays. Again, solid C plus. Could have been a B minus. But solid C plus. Solid.
I feel you on that. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw with the Falcons offense in the red zone and maybe improvements that you saw from last year's offense in the red zone, which they weren't that effective, but what we're seeing and what we've seen against the Giants. What'd you see?
So right now it kind of looked the same. It almost looks the same. I don't know. For the life of me right now, I just don't understand why this team continues to get in shotgun down here in the 10. Matt Ryan is not a threat to run. Like, they're trying to run this RPO. Defense is not buying Matt Ryan pull the ball, but maybe, hey, let him pull the ball because he's going to walk in the end zone because ain't nobody thinking he going to keep the football. I don't see the creativity. And if you're going to go big, run Mike Davis straight ahead. Like, why are we trying to run Mike Davis outside? Mike Davis is the between the tackle runner. Offensive linemen like to go forward. Any offensive lineman you talk to, they will tell you, I'd rather go forward than pass block because they're disadvantaged when they pass block. Guys are sprinting and they trying to catch them. Let these guys move forward inside the 5, inside the 10. Play action. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Hayden Hurst. I just don't think they're using the weapons that they have properly. You can't go 4 wide and expect Calvin Ridley to, run this crosser all the way across the field. You don't have enough time for that. Let these guys go forward. Pound Mike Davis. Pound Cordero Patterson. He the MVP through 3 weeks right now. Get him the football inside the 10. He is your playmaker right now.
Maceo, great breakdowns. And look, before we get out of here, I need you to tell me, what are the keys to victory against Washington? I understand I didn't send you those questions.
I'm always ready, baby.
You feel me? Just go off of it. I think that you already know what they got to do if they want to win the game. What are 3 keys to victory against the Washington football team? Don't know why they haven't found a name yet, but Washington football team.
Jay Money, quiet as kept. They really should just stay with Washington football team. It's actually kind of dope. It's actually kind of dope because this the thing. Anything you come up with after your previous name, it's gonna be whack. If you the Generals, if you the Rockets, if you whatever they pick, it's gonna be whack. Washington football team is actually dope. I mean, the uniform. Their uniform will always be ugly. It is what it is.
I guess there's no confusion. Washington football team.
The Washington football team, end of story. Cool. We with it. I just can't think what it's gonna be. The Washington Owls. Everything gonna be ugly. But the keys for the Falcons on Sunday, you can't let Tyler Heinicke get comfortable. He is a rookie. He's sort of a rookie. This is his first time really starting. He done bounced around, but don't let this guy get comfortable because he is super streaky. So if he gets in a rhythm, he will expose your defense because they have a very nice receiver over there in Terry McLaurin. The tight end is very nice. So they can exploit your middle of the field and you got a playmaker outside. Got to control Taylor Heinicke. That's key number 1. Number 2, for the Falcons, they have to run the football consistently. And this means not running tall sweep to Mike Davis. Get Cordero Patterson, that zone run. Listen, if you got to start him. Let him and Mike Davis be this 1-2 punch. And 3, oh my God, this is so crucial because they hadn't done this in a long time. Make a play on special teams. My God. Make a play on special teams. All these fair catches. Return the ball. Big plays happen in special teams. Get a return, Atlanta. My God.
Is that crazy that I haven't even processed that or even thought about asking that question about the Falcons special team besides the place kicker? Man, I don't know, man. But look, thank you for coming on, Maceo Hurd Jr. Look, not just analyzing the game, but all the comic relief, man. You're making me laugh too much.
Dude, this is what this game, as fans, this is what the game do to us. It turns us into Eddie Murphy. It turns us into Martin. It gives us so much, and sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying.
Absolutely. Look, man, I'm laughing so much. I'm forgetting to read off the sponsors, everything. You can find Maceo Hurd Jr., co-host of What's Next, every Monday, 6 p.m. and Thursday, 6:30. Look, donate to the Just Good Network internship program, doing big things. The Cash App Jansen and 2 E's after for some reason, and the Just Good Network. GoFundMe/Just Good Network. And also Your Future Media. For all media purposes, visit Your Future Media and Got Skills Pro for handyman assembly purposes in the Atlanta area. Maceo, man, you haven't me laugh too much, man.
Dude, first of all, I want to thank you. And I also want to shout you out, man. Continue to do the work that you're doing, man. I enjoy it. You always keep us on our toes with your interesting takes. But the fact that you're working every day and putting the content out, listen, that's what the game needs. And I'm telling you, I appreciate it, man. I'm a fan of you, man. I rock with you all the time. So, man, anytime.
I appreciate you. And I will say this, man. it tests your heart when you put in like maybe with Chicago fans. I should have known this. Chicago Bulls. You talk about LeBron being the GOAT. They'll come for you, man. I've never seen fan base like that. I'm telling you, if you want to test how you're like how much you can take with your takes, talk bad about or kind of talk bad about Jordan. It's over. It's a wrap.
See, what I've learned in this business, I stay out of that debate. I stay out anything that got to do with Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. I avoid it. I say, yeah, whatever. Because this is the thing. If you're a LeBron lover, I can't change your mind. If you're a Jordan lover, can't change your mind. If you're a Kobe lover, I can't change your mind. So it's like just beating your head against the wall. Like, dude, he's not gonna change his thought process. So let him have it.
Basically, like Jesse, you need to smarten up, man. Stay out of those debates, man. Stay out of it.
Stay out because listen, it's a debate that you can never win. And this is the thing. People are not truly gonna appreciate LeBron's career. I keep saying this over and over again. Until LeBron retires and walks away from the game, is when you're gonna finally appreciate it. Listen, people didn't like Kobe until he finally walked away, and all of a sudden, you know what? Kobe, a nice guy. Nah, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. But you missed the impact that he had on the game, and that's why you appreciate him more. Right now, LeBron's still playing, and he's such a hot button. Yeah, man. Just let it ride, man.
Leave it alone, man.
Yeah. For this basketball season, vow that you're gonna stay out of any LeBron conversations because you just can't win.
Absolutely. Maceo Hurd Jr., thank you for joining me, man. We got to do this again. I appreciate you.
Anytime, my brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.